Sexual Offenders Residency Board meeting for May 13th, 2020. I'd like to start off with first our roll call. Looks like we have 3 members present on the board. Is that correct?
We have 4. Let's see. We have Dean, Heidi, Melissa, and Renee.
Okay. First meeting on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Does anybody want to make a motion?
So moved.
So, is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Next up is approval of the minutes of May 13th, approval of minutes on March 11th, 2020. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Seconded?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Rachel, are we ready to go on to regular business, or do you need a second?
I'm just marking all as yes for that last one. Regular business. All right, we're all set.
Okay, our first person is Jose Pilar Cruz.
Is that the person I'm translating for?
Yes.
Okay, hi. Okay. José, ¿está en la línea usted?
Sí.
Oh, okay. Yes, he's present.
He is present. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Cruz, we are going to be looking at your appeal to move to 1309 Irwin Street, address specific in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And as we go through your application here, we ask that as we ask you questions, that you just refrain from referring from the victim by personal name or surname. You understand that?
Señor Cruz, entonces usted entiende la razón de la reunión hoy día es para la dirección que usted ha peticionado de 1309 de Irwin Street, la aplicación que usted tiene. A medida que vamos por la aplicación, repasando lo que está en la aplicación, vamos a hacerle serie de preguntas, entonces no se refiera por nombre a la víctima, ¿ok?
Okay.
Okay. Sir, it looks like your conviction was for soliciting an underage teenager at the age of 15. You received 3 years
La
probation.
condición que tenemos acá, entonces, porque usted solicitó a una menor de edad de 15 años, entonces fue convicto por esto.
Correcto.
That's correct.
Okay. And who does he plan to live with when he's here in Green Bay?
En su estadía aquí en Green Bay, ¿con quién planea vivir usted?
Con mi cuñada.
My sister-in-law.
Okay. Do you currently have a job prospect when you come into town or not yet?
¿Tiene ya un trabajo en vista cuando venga para acá, para Green Bay, o todavía no?
Perdón, ¿me puedes repetir la pregunta?
Sí, ¿ha mirado algún trabajo para cuando venga a Green Bay o todavía no?
Sí, he mirado bastante trabajo.
Yeah, I've been looking for different type of jobs, yeah.
All right, sir, can you describe to us your conviction and how it came about?
Bueno, señor, ¿me puede describir entonces por qué fue convicto y qué pasó?
Pues fue por un mensaje de texto.
Yeah. It happened via text message.
Right, and you knowingly solicited to meet and a 15-year-old, is that correct?
Y usted sabía usted que estaba solicitando tener 15 años, ¿correcto?
Como yo me moví para acá reciente, pues estábamos hablando normal y la conversación era normal, pero después que me empezó a hablar de de cosas así, de sexo y eso, pero cuando le pregunté la edad, fue que me dijo que tenía 15 y yo le dije que no quería tener problemas, porque yo no sabía cómo era la ley aquí. Y le digo que no quería problemas y me dice que no importa, que ella era independiente, que estaba trabajando cuidando niños, algo así. Y yo dije, pues está bien, porque no quiero problemas con tus padres ni con nadie.
Okay.
Y así quedó.
Un momentito entonces. So, to start, I was new in town. I was new here. And so when we were texting back and forth, it was just regular conversation till the point that she started talking with sexual conversation. So at that point, I asked, what was your age? She said, I was 15. So he said, well, I don't want to have any problems with that, so I don't have nothing to do with it. So she said to me, no, you're not going to have any problem. I'm very independent. I'm having a job already. I'm babysitting kids. ¿Y después?
Y nada, me citó y nos quedamos de ver en un lugar. Y ahí fue que pasó todo. Que ya llegaron los policías y me llevaron.
And then she make a point to get together. So, and at that point is when the police got there and they took me.
Sir, I read the police report as it states in terms of how this event occurred, and that's not the way that the officer indicated it happened. That the officer who was pretending to be the girl is the one that actually told you her age, and then you asked specifically how you could make her feel good, and that you could do things that would make her feel good.
Okay, so, señor, de la manera que usted lo describe es totalmente diferente de cómo lo describe la policía, la oficial de policía que estaba, ella estaba siendo personificada como la víctima. Ella describe que no pasó así, que usted conversó con ella y que le preguntó cómo podía hacerla sentir bien y qué tipo de cosas, placer podía hacer.
Sí, pero porque me empezó a preguntar cosas a mí y los textos porque están los textos y eso se puede ver.
You know, you have all the back and forth texting though, and she asked me things and you can see the text.
But you did knowingly go to meet her, even though you knew she was underage.
Pero usted ya sabiendo que no tenía la edad correcta, fue lo mismo a encontrarse con ella.
Sí, correcto, fui al lugar.
Yeah, that's correct.
Rachel, real quick question in regards to treatment programs. Do we still have to go through our process we normally go through since we're in this format?
Yeah, if people choose to go into closed session, I can just put everybody else in the waiting room and the rest of us just stay in the Zoom session.
Okay. Sir, I'd like to talk to you briefly about sexual treatment programs you may or may not have been involved with. As a result, you have the right to talk about that in closed session or in a public session. Which would you prefer?
Ok, señor, quiero hablar con usted acerca de programas de ayuda para este tipo de víctimas, para ayuda sexual, ¿no es cierto? No sé si usted alguna vez ha estado envuelto en este tipo de programa, pero quería hablar con usted y la pregunta que yo le hago es si usted quiere que hablemos en privado o no le interesa.
No, no me interesa.
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Sir, as part of your conviction and conditions for release, you were supposed to get a psychological evaluation and treatment follow recommendations of the psychological evaluation. That was not attached. Did you actually go through that process?
Señor, como parte para dejarlo a usted salir, ¿no es cierto? Usted tenía que evaluación psicológica y yo no veo que usted haya puesto los resultados de esta evaluación psicológica. ¿Usted hizo la evaluación psicológica?
Sí, lo que pasa es que estamos esperando por traductor porque aquí no hay traductor que me traducieran y por eso no me han podido dar la cita.
Well, so no la he hecho todavía.
No he podido darme la cita porque no hay traductor para mí.
I haven't had a chance to do that because they were trying to find some translators for me, so that's why we were waiting on that.
So how long have you been released?
¿Cuánto hace que salió usted?
Oh, ok, aquí yo estoy con mi probation, si puede querer hablar con ella también para que le pregunte.
You can talk to my probation officer. I'm with her right now.
I think he's only sentenced to probation. I don't think he got jail time.
That's correct. So I guess my question though is he was supposed to have a psychological evaluation and treatment following recommendations of the psychosexual evaluation as part of his condition for parole. And
This is Tiffany Rivard. I'm his probation officer. Am I able to?
go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, he did have the psychosexual eval as part of the court order. He has not had treatment due to two things. We have not had the ability to have a translator as part of treatment because we are in a very rural area. So that has provided difficulty to secure that for our treatment facility. We have one treatment provider in our area.
Okay.
And they have not been able to because they travel to us. We don't have we are an off-site satellite treatment place. So they come to us and it's been difficult to get a translator because of that to bill insurance due to whatever those reasons are. And then he's been wanting to move to Wisconsin. So then that has been because I did not want him to start him in treatment here, knowing that if he does move to Wisconsin, then he would have to start treatment there. And it's a kind of a fluid process. And then he'd have to start all over.
Right. I noticed that the evaluation though was not part of his paperwork that we have in front of us.
And I didn't know it needed to be sent with. That's my fault. I did not know it was needed to be sent with.
Well, it's not necessarily that it had to be sent, but in terms of us making an evaluation whether he should be an exception to our ordinance, it'd been good to know what that examination said about his potential for reoffending and his current condition.
Well, I guess I can tell you, based on my knowledge I have his eval with me, if you want me to read you what the recommendations said.
Normally we won't accept that, but since you're his parole officer, I'm okay with it as long as the rest of the board is okay with it.
Okay.
Okay with it.
Fine.
Can I explain to him that he did the evaluation so that what you guys are doing right now so he knows?
Go ahead.
Señor Cruz.
Ajá.
Sí, al parecer dice su oficial de aprobación que sí, usted ha tenido la evaluación, lo que no ha tenido fue el tratamiento para él.
Oh, sí, correcto.
Entonces, pero ella no sabía que tenía que mandar los papeles juntos para la cita de hoy día, pero no obstante eso, le van a permitir a ella que lea entonces las recomendaciones de la evaluación. ¿Ok? So le estoy explicando más o menos lo que están haciendo ahora, ¿right?
Ok, está bien.
Ok, great.
So I can read what it says. It says, with regards to recommendations, recommended Mr. Cruz follow all conditions of his probation, given that he's placed in a level 2 and considered below average risk. Intensive sexual offense specific treatment is not recommended. He would, however, benefit from brief treatment to provide education regarding healthy sexuality and appropriate sexual boundaries. This will be brief in nature and can be done by a treatment provider who specializes in treating individuals with problematic sexual behavior. If no such provider is available, this can be done by a treatment provider comfortable with providing psychoeducation related to healthy sexuality and sexual boundaries. Mr. Cruz should have no unsupervised contact with adolescent females until he receives approval to do so from his probation agent or treatment provider. He should also have no unsupervised access to social media. Additionally, it is recommended Mr. Cruz work toward achieving and maintaining stability and engaging in pro-social behavior, such as maintaining employment and stable housing, as well as engagement in pro-social age-appropriate relationships in an effort to mitigate risk of reoffense.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is he currently employed where he's at?
He is as a seasonal worker at it's called the Northern Pride Turkey Plant, and he's been there for a couple seasons now.
Okay. And he's an approved resident of the United States?
He is.
Okay. Other questions the board may have?
Is he married right now? And how long has he been married? If he is.
Señor Cruz, ¿usted está casado? Y si está casado, ¿por cuánto tiempo ha estado casado?
Casi un año, desde junio, julio, creo.
It's going to be a year about June or July, I believe.
Okay.
Hi. Have you ever been in Green Bay?
Excuse me?
Has he ever lived in Green Bay?
¿Usted alguna vez ha vivido en Green Bay?
Sí,
Yes.
When?
¿Cuándo?
2013 a 2015.
From 2013 to 2015.
His paperwork says that he was in 2013, and then there was a break in time, and then 2015 and 2016. Is that correct?
Los papeles que tenemos acá indican que usted estuvo en el 2013, después tuvo un break, o sea, no estuvo aquí.
Ujú. Sí,
Retornó
correcto.
en el 15 y 16. ¿Eso es correcto?
Sí, en el 15 yo creo, no estoy seguro, en el 15 creo que estuve porque estuve un niño allá.
Yeah,
Sí.
I know I was here in 2015 because I was a father and I have a kid. ¿Y el 16 también?
No, 16 no.
Nada de 16, no 16.
Okay. Also, besides the two individuals that your sister-in-law and brother-in-law, is there anyone else in Green Bay that you know?
Aparte de las dos personas, digamos, su cuñada y la otra persona que vive con ella,
Ujú.
su cuñado, ¿usted tiene algunos otros conocidos acá en Green Bay?
Sí, tengo
Yeah.
primos.
I have cousins.
And are they aware that you are a sex offender?
Y ellos han sido informados que usted ha sido ofendedor sexual. Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes, they are.
Okay. And what about your wife? According to your paperwork, she is not in Green Bay right now?
Y su esposa, de acuerdo a sus papeles, ella no está en Green Bay en este momento, ¿no?
No, está en México.
She's in Mexico.
How long has she been in Mexico?
¿Por cuánto tiempo ha estado?
Desde que se fue ahora, ella tiene como desde octubre.
It's been.
And when do you anticipate that she'll return to or come to Green Bay?
¿Cuándo usted anticipa que va a regresar a Green Bay?
Como en 3 años, 2 años, no estoy seguro, para allá.
I'm not sure if it's 2 or 3 years.
Está haciéndose una cirugía de médula cáncer.
She is having done surgery, bone marrow transplant.
Okay, so she will remain in Mexico for approximately 2 more years?
So, ella se va a quedar en México aproximadamente por otros 2 años.
Por eso sí, y quién sabe si más tiempo, todavía no sé cuánto tiempo vaya a estar. Bastante.
Yeah, 2 years for sure, and I don't know if it's going to be more than that. We don't know yet.
Okay, and also you mentioned you have a child?
¿Usted mencionó que tiene un niño?
Sí, correcto.
Yeah.
And where is your child right now?
¿Dónde está su niño en este momento?
En Ohio.
Ohio.
Okay, thank you.
Gracias.
Does he have any family members where he is now?
¿Tiene algunos familiares donde usted está viviendo ahora?
No.
No.
Okay, any other questions anybody else has?
¿Otras preguntas?
Mr. Cruz, would you like to say anything before we ask for a motion?
Señor Cruz, ¿le gustaría agregar algo antes que preguntemos por la moción?
No.
No.
Okay, with that, then I'd like to ask for a motion, if any of the board members want to make a motion.
Ok, so va a pedir acciones de los miembros de la
I'll make a motion to deny Mr. Cruz to 1309 Irwin Avenue.
Yo tengo una moción de negar
Is
la
there a second?
residencia.
I second.
All in favor of the motion to deny Mr. Cruz to the address he's put on, say aye.
Denegar,
Aye.
Mr. Cruz.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Sir, you've been denied access to live in Green Bay. This doesn't mean that you can't apply sometime in the future, but at this particular time, you have not been approved to move to Green Bay.
Señor, se le ha negado entonces la petición que usted ha hecho para vivir en Green Bay. No significa que no puede aplicar en el futuro, pero en este
Ok.
momento... ¿Qué?
Okay, thank you.
All right,
Okay,
thank you. Next up is Mr. Derek Van Roy.
Hi, this is Deanna. I have him on the phone on my desk phone here in my office, so I am unmuted right now. So, Mr. Van Roy, are you still there? Okay, can you hear him?
Yes.
And
I can hear him.
Can you hear him?
All right, Mr. Van Roy, we're here to hear your appeal to move to 1344 East Mason Street in Green Bay. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just let you know the process we're going to go over. We're going to go over your sexual offense. We ask that you just keep it to refer to the person as the victim and not by personal name or surname. At some point in time, we may want to talk about your treatment. You have the ability to have that in private session or public session. Which would you prefer, sir?
I really don't know the difference.
The difference would be in private session. The only people that would be present would be yourself, along with the board members, and is not part of the permanent record. Whereas public session is it is part of the permanent record.
Public hearing would be fine.
Okay. All right, sir. Looks like you have two offenses. One that occurred in October of 2001, and the second one in November of 2018. Could you first talk to us about the one that happened in October of 2001 and tell us what happened?
That
Sir, I can't hear you.
was that
He said he was in a relationship. They were both in high school.
Okay. The second one, victim age was 8 years old in November of 2018
I think that's 13.
or 13. Okay.
Can we get clarification on when the offense occurred?
He was convicted in 2015, so it couldn't have
Yeah,
occurred.
you're right. Yeah, it must have been 2013.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, can you tell us about it? We're not hearing anything.
He was in a bad place in his life, and he started to talk to.
my daughter.
Oh, please don't identify the victim.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He started to talk to the victim as if they were an adult.
Okay, go ahead, sir. Keep on talking. I can hear you.
If I can interrupt, it sounds like you're either moving around. If you're on a cell phone, you need to stay in one place because you're going in and out. And
I actually have him on my desk phone. That was the only way of getting him onto the call. So
no.
that might
I
be
mean
why it's-
him. He needs to stay in one place because we'll hear him at one point in time,
Okay.
and then he goes out.
Okay. Okay, continue, Derek. Thank you.
I can't.
I can't hear a word you're saying.
Okay. I cannot get the phone any closer to my laptop. He said he started treating the 8-year-old as if it was a relationship, and it became kind of a relationship that shouldn't have been. Is that what you're saying, Derek?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, that's what he's saying.
Deanna, do you have your cell phone up against the microphone?
I
On
have
your
the
left
phone.
hand?
I have the desk phone up against the microphone.
Because we're not hearing anything.
And I have it up as high as I can.
Is it on speaker?
Yes, it's on speaker. I have him up as high as I can go. Okay, can you repeat what you said, Derek?
Yes, I was treating her as an adult.
Can you hear that?
That was
Yeah.
better for a second.
Okay, here, let me flip the phone upside down and hold the receiver on. All right, can you talk now?
Hear me now?
Can you hear him now?
Nope.
No,
No,
Okay, do you want me to just relay what he says then?
I don't think that's a good idea.
Okay, yeah, this is,
Can't he,
Is it that
can't he
he
just
can't-
call in, can't he just call into the Zoom meeting?
he cannot. I had checked with the prison and they said that he couldn't. We have to call him. He's at Red Granite. I can try on my cell phone. If you want me to try on my cell phone, I can try and call him back using that.
Y-
Is
Yeah,
that a work
Doc-
cell phone?
No, it's my personal one. Yeah, still-
I don't think that's a good idea, unless you can block it.
Yeah, block your number, *67, and then call the
Okay.
prison.
Okay, all right, Derek, I'm gonna try you again, okay?
Okay.
All right. All right.
While we're waiting, Dean, please remember to ask if there's anyone who's looking to speak on behalf of anybody.
okay, I didn't know if there was anybody from the public in the call.
They're invited, so there might be.
Okay,
So just ask.
okay, I will. I didn't know that.
Okay, I'm back. Derek, can you go on and talk?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear him?
It's better. I can hear
Okay.
it. Sir, so can you describe the sexual assault, the second one that happened in 2013 and what occurred?
It was a few times.
I can't hear that.
I can't hear a darn thing.
Can we try over here? I'm gonna try on this side. Can you speak again, Derek?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Sir,
Okay. It involved the touching of her vagina.
now it went out again.
Yeah, it was good for a second.
Move my laptop.
I guess at this particular point, unless the board members feel differently, we're going to have to put his appeal on hold until we can clear up how we can communicate with him. Does anybody have an issue with that? If they do, let me know, or else we'll make a motion to postpone his review.
I have no issue.
I do
No
not-
problem.
You have a
No.
problem?
2 weeks.
He's
So-
supposed to get out in 2 weeks. He just wanted you to know that.
Yeah, I mean, but if we can't hear from him, then I don't feel comfortable making a decision on this one.
Okay.
So I'm going to make a motion to Mr. Van Roy's appeal to our next meeting.
Okay.
Second,
Second.
Seconded.
all in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Mr. Van Roy, you're going to have to appear for us at our next meeting. And hopefully we have, at that point when you're released, you can call in directly into the meeting and we can hear your appeal. I don't know if you will be released directly, but you'll be homeless, or if you're going to be going to, some sort of facility. But at this point, we can't make a recommendation on your appeal until we can actually communicate with you.
Would it be possible to temporary position?
I didn't hear what he asked.
He's wanting to know if he can get temporary permission until the next hearing.
Nope.
Nope.
They can't.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll have to move on to the next person. Mr. Holland? Mr. Gary Holland, are you here?
I'm Ashley. I'm his niece. I'm here to speak for him.
Is he on the phone or is he?
He's supposed to be on this call. He is incarcerated at Sanger B. He said that he has not seen the social worker all day. He just called me. So I don't know if there's a possibility for him to be like dialed in. I did watch a previous meeting. Granted, it wasn't a Zoom meeting.
Well, it looks like we do have the phone number here. It says Heather Stern.
Yeah, that is his probation officer.
Oh, that is,
Possibly-
okay.
I'm sorry, he's possibly with someone named Scott, I think Profiter. I thought I saw him sign in earlier.
Oh. It's possible. He didn't say who he was going to ask. He was supposed to be calling in with the social worker of Sanger B prison, but he said that he thinks that he didn't come into work today. So I told him that he needed to talk to a correctional officer to see if somebody could dial in with him, because this is his last window to get residency approved.
Well, I'll tell you what, at this particular point, I'm going to make a motion to move him to last, to give you an opportunity to maybe try to get a hold of him and
Perfect.
see if we can do that. So I'm going to make a motion to move Mr. Holland to the last person on our agenda. Can I have a second, please?
I'll second.
All in
Thank you.
favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
Thank you very much.
Next up is Mr. Joshua Doran.
This is Deanna. I have Mr. Holland's person at the prison on the phone. They were on, but he said that he couldn't hear any volume or anything.
Uh-oh.
So do you want me to have him call into the meeting right now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll have him call in. Okay. He's dialing in now.
Mr. Holland?
I still see the same number of participants. I don't see anyone having joined. Okay, one person just joined.
Mr. Holland? Oh, who
Deanna,
just
did-
joined us?
Deanna, do they know that they have to enable their sound?
I do not know if he knows that. He was going to dial in. He wasn't going to log in through Zoom. I think that's it right here. This number that just popped up, that's him.
Hello, who just joined us?
Hello, this is Gary Holland.
All right.
Mr. Allen, are you logging in for Mr. Holland?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Dean. I'm the chair of the Green Bay Sexual Offenders Residency Board. If you could put Mr. Holland, we can start his appeal.
Okay, this is him.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, Mr. Holland, we are gonna go through your appeal form for residency in Green Bay. A couple things before we get started. I just want to make sure we have the correct address you want to move to, which is 2245 Imperial Lane. Is that correct?
Apartment 1.
Apartment 1, okay. Sir, when we're going to go over your conviction and what happened, we ask that you just refer to the person as the victim, not by personal name or surname.
Okay.
In addition to that, we would probably go over your sexual offender treatment or any type of treatment program that you've had. Because of that, you do have the right to have that either in public or private session. Which would you prefer?
I guess you can leave it open. That's fine.
Okay. All right, sir. I want to know, you have a first-degree sexual assault of a 12-year-old child. Could you tell us what happened, how long you were engaging it with this victim, and how it came to fruition that you were assaulting her?
It was a one-time thing. It happened once. I lived in the house where she was mostly. It happened one time, and the outcome of it was a pregnancy that was given up for an adoption.
Okay. Sir, I'm reading the criminal history under your assessment.
Okay.
It said that, you had started these sexual assaults that occurred approximately 25 to 50 times.
Yeah, that was in their police report.
And you're not the case?
Correct. I mean, when I was going through court, my attorney told me to just leave that alone. Just don't bring it up. So, fight that or anything. We just let it go because she said it wouldn't change the outcome of anything. But it didn't go on for a long period of time. I mean, I've known her for a long period of time. But the sexual part of it was a one-time thing.
According to the report, that is not what the victim stated. She said that it happened on more than one occasion.
Correct. I know what the police report read, and my judgment of conviction also read that.
And if you could, without mentioning your relationship to the victim or the victim's name, can you tell us a little bit more detail how this happened?
I lived in the home with her.
Okay, that's kind of vague.
So in other words, she's asking you how did it occur? I mean, how did you get the victim alone to do this?
Her mother was at work. So, I lived in the house with her. Her mother was at work. It was just us.
So how long after this occurred did the victim give notice that this had occurred?
It was about a year later.
If we could step back, question for you. Did you was this a house with one big room?
No, it was a 3-bedroom house.
Okay, did the victim have her own bedroom?
Yes, she did.
Did you have your own bedroom?
I did.
Where did this assault occur? What room?
It would have happened in my room.
It would have happened in your room, or it did?
It did.
Okay. And was it customary for you to be in your bedroom with her?
Yeah, I mean, she's been in there on more than one occasion.
Okay. And what was your age at the time?
27.
You were 27 years old at the time and the victim was 12?
Correct.
Okay. And you were in a relationship with the victim's mother?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Did you disclose to the victim's mother that you sexually assaulted her daughter after that occurred?
I did not.
Why not?
I don't know. I never did, though. I never brought it up until I was arrested.
Okay. And according to the police report, there was a child?
There was.
Okay. And did you know that the victim, well, first of all, when the child was born, were you still living with the victim and her mother?
Again, I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
Sure. When the child was born, were you still living with the victim and her mother?
I was.
Okay. Did you know that the victim was pregnant?
No, I did not.
Okay. And were you present when she gave birth to the child in the residence?
I was not. I was at work.
Okay. And at some point in time, did you find out that she delivered a baby?
I did.
Okay. And then how were you notified of that?
Her mother.
Okay. And then what happened next after that?
After that, that's when they set up like adoption stuff. People were coming to the house. I wasn't a part of that. That's when the baby was given up for adoption.
Okay. When did you find out that you were the father of this child?
Had DNA administered by the police department, and then several months later, I was arrested.
And was that before or after the adoption?
I do believe that was before.
Okay. No, I don't have any additional questions right now.
Yes, sir. Again, according to this record, it said that you had intercourse with her once or twice before she was 13 and once or twice after she was 13. And you're saying it only happened once.
Correct.
Okay. I'd like to talk about your sex offender treatment program.
Okay.
Looks like you completed, at least you're saying you completed SO2 training. Is that correct?
Correct. I did that at New Lisbon Correctional Institution.
Okay. We have no documentation assigned to this that you had completed that.
I had mailed a transcript in that packet.
Well, I don't think that was part of the SO2 training, was that? I thought that was just an evaluation.
That should have been from a Dr. Ribble at New Lisbon. That's what we get when we graduate the class. That's like her final report where she writes in there, you know, how you did. And
Oh, Jay Ribble?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know that was the report.
Yep,
Okay.
that's all we get when we complete it.
Okay. Okay. One of the things it says here that you still have a medium degree of impulsivity. Could you explain to me, your thoughts on that relating to impulses you still have?
Well, that was many years ago. I don't feel like I have any. I mean, I know what I got to do, and I know, I still like read through notes from back then, and I know she wants me to do like an aftercare. So, I mean, I plan on doing that.
Okay. Sir, how long have you been out?
Out of what?
Well, it says here, I got a letter from Builders First Source that you've been working with them since August 26th,
Well,
2015.
I'm still incarcerated until July 7th, but I'm on work release.
Okay, so you're on work release, so you go to Builders First each day?
Correct. Right.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I have a question regarding that. Is Builders First located in Green Bay or De Pere?
It's located in De Pere.
And
Go ahead.
go ahead,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, is there a reason why here versus Green Bay?
My niece been looking for places for me. She's looked at about 50 different places. We didn't have any luck. And then she found this place on Imperial Lane. The landlord was willing to work with me. And it's something that I can afford.
Okay.
Because, I mean, I tried to get like Howard, Hobart area, but it's just, it wasn't going to happen for me, so.
Mr. Holland, have you ever lived in Green Bay?
I have not.
And who, said in your paperwork that your support system consists of I believe your niece, your daughter, and your sister, is that correct?
Correct.
Where do they live?
My daughter and my sister lives in Antigo, Wisconsin, and my niece lives in Wisconsin Dells.
Wisconsin. None of them live in the Green Bay area?
No.
And do you have any support system here in the Green Bay area?
Just a guy that I met to work. He's an older gentleman, but he's been real good to me. His name is Gary Dubois.
And does Mr. Dubois know that you are a sex offender?
Yes, he does.
Okay, I have no further questions.
So I have a question for the lieutenant. It looks like this offense occurred in Antigo, so why is he being released into Brown County? Would we know why? Officer, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. I guess I'm not sure why he's being released into Brown here in front of me.
In regards to, we have his criminal history here, do you have the report in front of you that the victim says, she had intercourse with him more than once or not, as far as what you're seeing?
Yeah, so I have the criminal complaint here in front of me, and it doesn't specify the amount of times that this occurred.
Okay. Sir, is there a reason why you're being released into Brown County versus up in Antigo?
No, I put in for a transfer. Just keep my job over here and, try to keep my employment.
Okay. So at this particular point, you don't know if your transfer to Brown County has been approved at this point?
Well, I was told that I had to wait till I had this meeting with you.
Okay. All right. Does anybody else have any questions for him?
I do. On March 16th, there was a documentation in your classification report that the release resident plans were requesting residents with your niece or sister in Wisconsin Dells or Antigo. What happened to that? Why are you not going there?
It was my choice to try to stay over here so I can keep the job that I have.
Okay. All right. I have
It's
no
a good-
further questions.
All right.
Can I just add something to that?
Who's this speaking?
Ashley, his niece.
Ashley, you just wait for just a moment. So if there's no further questions, then again, Ashley, then okay, you can go ahead and make your statement.
So that what you were just speaking of, the release addresses, those were requested by his social worker, saying that he had to have release addresses put in. Otherwise, he had to be released to one of those addresses. At the point, had not had an apartment lined up for him yet. And they said we were out of time. So he had to give tentative release addresses at that time.
Okay, is there anything else you want to say in his behalf?
Yes, there is. So first, I would like to say thank you guys for holding the meeting. I know last month's was canceled because of everything going on. I am familiar with Gary's charge and why he's in. I was present for most of the court dates and sentencing. I realize that what he did is not excusable, and it should have never happened in the first place. But I know deep down that, as some might see it, Gary is not a monster. The Gary that I know is loving. He's a son, a father. He's outgoing and a hard worker and a peacekeeper. He really is a good man. He did make a mistake and he regrets it every day of his life. I know we keep in contact a lot, and I spirits up and tell him, life isn't over yet. You still have, time to, pick up the pieces and move on. I think that him going back to Anigo would be a mistake. It's a very small town. When we went through processing or sentencing, he was plastered all over the Anigo newspaper. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with Anigo, but it's a very small town. Everybody knows everybody's business. And my concern is that if he goes back to Anigo, the victim and victim's family will do anything in their power to try and get him locked up again. They've already made it very apparent that they would do so. And they've already caused issues with all of us. Even now, 12 years later, it's very much been one of the situations where, we have all suffered from this. And us as his family have received backlash from this, which I get, and I'm sure a lot of families in the situation. But honestly, I stand behind him 100%, and I know that he's changed. And I know that he can do well in Green Bay. And I've talked with Gary Dubois, his supervisor, and I've talked with Matt Tremmel, who is the operations manager, I believe is his title. And they very much would like to Gary stay there. They said that he's one of the hardest workers that they've ever had. And I think that him being able to have a fresh start and be in an area where he, where people aren't, looking at him badly because they know what he did and things like that would definitely help him move forward in life. So I just hope that, with all of the stuff that Gary and Officer Melman sent in for him with his treatment, and he did receive his GED while he was in prison. I hope that you can see that he's worked really hard at earning this second chance, and that he will definitely succeed when he's out.
Can I ask you, do you live in Anigo or Green Bay? Where do you live?
I live in the Dells. I did live in, we did live in Green Bay for about 10 years. I have a lot of, my in-law family lives in Green Bay. And I do plan on going to see Gary, to see him at least once a week, once he's out, to make sure that he falls into a routine nicely until he kind of gets settled into society. Because I realize that 12 years is a long time and a lot of things have changed.
Okay, any more questions anybody else has in regards to his case?
No.
Sir, would you like to say anything before I ask for a motion?
I know my answers weren't that good, but I kind of got confused when you said I couldn't mention the victim or like how I knew her. I didn't know if I should, say that I was the living boyfriend of her mother. I didn't know if that was going too far. So I just answered it the best way I could.
Okay. All right, does anybody want to make a motion in regards to Mr. Holland moving to 2240 2245 Imperial Lane, Apartment 1.
I will go ahead and make a motion. I'll explain why. I'm making a motion to deny. My concern is that Mr. Holland has no support system here. Work is one thing, but you can't work 24 hours a day. It's not as though he has any treatment or other means of support, family or friends that's lined up and knows of his circumstances. So for those reasons, I am making a motion to deny.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor of the motion to deny Mr. Holland to 2245 Imperial Lane, Apartment 1, say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, sir, you've been denied residency in the city of Green Bay at 2245 Imperial Lane. Does not mean that you can not try again, but at this particular time, you've been denied residency.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Next up is Mr. Joshua Doran. Mr. Doran, are you here? All right, I'm going to make a motion to deny Mr. Doran request to.
I do see a Josh Doran. Looks like he just unmuted.
Mr. Doran?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
All right, thank God.
All right. So we're here to hear your appeal to move to 334 South Chestnut Street in Green Bay. Is that correct, sir?
Well, I've actually been approved already. I'm here as a request because my last time I was approved, they said I need to come back 30 days to let you know how my treatment was going and stuff. I got approved at the beginning of April.
Okay,
so,
yeah, I do see that. Yep.
So right now I'm just calling to, I've been in contact with, I believe, Deanna. I'm just calling to say that because of the COVID virus and there's been no treatment. I have not been living at that address because of the COVID. As I stated the first time my approval, that it was under construction and construction stopped when the COVID started. The contractors aren't working on it. So I'm still homeless. Basically, I'm just going through the meeting and to say that it's still my residence. The landlord's still going to rent to me. It's just a matter of waiting until the stay-at-home order is removed so the contractors can work on the apartment.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions in regards to this particular case? I wasn't here for his particular case, but it looks like, you granted him 30 days.
Actually, yeah, it was this. Actually, because we had to postpone and cancel the last meeting, it's been 60 days. I am probably not a good person to ask. I voted against approval, but given that he was approved for a 30-day period of time, I would suggest that we put it over for maybe another 60 days, or if there's another address that he is interested in moving to in the meantime, and if that's within the area, to go ahead and submit different paperwork. But I would suggest putting it over for another 60-day period because there's no guarantee when the stay-at-home order is going to be lifted. I know there are some contractors that are building homes. I can see that in different neighborhoods, but every place is different.
Sir, has your landlord give you an indication on when it would be completed?
He said he's trying to get them to come in, but they don't have to work right now. He's saying because the government's taking care of them. So, people that don't have to work aren't working. And he said they're probably just taking advantage of that. But the house needs to be redone by a licensed electrician and plumber so the city can approve the house for residency. Okay. I am currently looking at other places, and like I said, it's really hard to find a place. I've been looking in De Pere and Bellevue and even Green Bay, just to submit another address if I can find one before that one gets done, because right now I'm living at the hotels and spending a lot of money.
Right.
So I do appreciate the 60 days, which was I was going to ask, just because, we don't know what Evers is going to do with the stay-at-home order, and he's going to keep extending it. I can't. Treatment isn't going to go back into place until then, so I would have no update on that. And the same thing with the apartment. I can tell you that I'm cooperating with SORP, my PO. I meet with her weekly over the phone and stuff. And I'm doing good. I'm still employed, working 40 to 50 hours a week. So yeah, I really appreciate the grant for 60 days.
Well, we hasn't been approved yet, sir. So I'm going to make a formal motion to allow the 334 South Chestnut for 60 days, at which time he'd come back again and let us know if he's actually moved in, as well as treatment program. Is there a second to that?
I will second that.
All in favor, say aye.
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 No opposed. Okay, sir, you've been approved for 60 days again. And again, I think you should take the approach that it's not going to be ready, and see what you can do to find another location. So.
Yeah, I'm doing that. Thank you.
The other thing, sir, I'd ask you to do it next time before when you come up in 60 days. If you're still not being allowed into a treatment program, we're going to need some sort of documentation to that effect. Okay.
All right. I'll have my PO email, Deanna, City Hall.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Next up is Mr. Dustin Andre. Mr. Andre, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
All right, sir.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hang on a moment. I'm just trying to get your case file up. Okay. Last time we'd given you 30 days in regards to your in terms of address specific. I'm just reading here. So we wanted documentation of your current treatment program. So where are you at, sir?
Actually, I did speak to the treatment specialist, and she considered that I was completed with the IOP I was in, and she did send me a letter, which I have here. I can mail in to you guys. That says, per our telephone session on 4/21, you have been referred to the relapse prevention program beginning 6/1 of 2020. It's a 16-week meets weekly as group for 2 hours each session. I can forward that letter, and as well as the sex offender treatment you guys required a letter about. I did that in 2005 through Family Services with Jim Drake, and I've spoken to everyone, and they don't keep any records after 7 years. So speaking with my agent, along with Deanna, I really just don't know where to go with that. So that's pretty much where I'm at.
Okay. Board members that were present at the last meeting, do you want to shed a light on this, or where do you want this?
Excuse me?
Members that were here when you agreed to a 30-day approval, any comments you want to make in terms of where you want to go with this?
I was present. We were supposed to have Mr. Andre provide proof of AODA treatment in progress. I believe that was one of them. What I would suggest is, because we don't have it in the official file for the city, I suggest that we put it over so that he has an opportunity to make a copy and send that in. to the law department. And with regard to, I don't remember this part, with regard to the SOT, did you not have a copy of that, or what happened?
Honestly, it's been, a solid 15 years, and I've had so much paperwork, and moved around. I just honestly can't find anything. My agent did say that she was looking in the file, and it does show something, but she keeps that to anyone because I can't sign the paper in person right now. So we're all deadlocked, and that's my issue.
This is Deanna. I have been in contact with this PO, and she has advised me that she can't release anything to me without Mr. Andre's signature.
Oh, then I think Mr. Andre will have to somehow get to his PO and sign off, or get a document, sign off on it, and get it to his PO so she can turn that in.
So Melissa, do you want to make a motion to carry him for 30 days, or is that what you want to do?
Yes, the motion is to put this matter over, approve the appellant to the address, specific address, and 30-day return date and provide proof of, I believe it's AODA and sex offender treatment.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, sir, you've been approved another 30 days, at which time you're going to have to bring back that documentation. So you're going to have to make some sort of appointment with your PO to make sure you can get that signed. And then if not, you probably will not. And so please make sure you take the time, and we'll send out notice to that.
Okay, I just want to say one thing. I can contact Deanna here tomorrow morning, and I can get the address to mail in the letter from the AODA therapist. As far as the sex offender treatment letter or whatever she can provide, me signing the paper is solely based on I'm doing FaceTime video right now. They're not allowing any of us unless it's a extreme matter at the office. So until that is lifted.
Well, no, there's a way around that, sir. Have her send you the release form, and if she needs you to sign it, you can sign it in front of a notary, and then she should be able to release it.
Okay, now
Banks are doing notarizations,
Yeah, well, I will do that. Then I will get on top of that tomorrow morning too, so I'm fully prepared.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Mr. Bondrak. Bondarchuk?
I just unmuted him.
Hello?
Can
you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Bondarchuk?
Yeah.
All right, again, we're here to hear your appeal. Let me just get to open up your record here real quick. All right, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is your first time in front of the board. It looks like you want to move to 426 South Maple Avenue. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Again, when we hear your appeal, we just ask that you refer to the victim as the victim, not by a surname, as we go over your case. And also, if we want to talk about any treatment programs, you have the right to do that either in public or private session. Which would you prefer?
It can be public.
All right. All right, sir. Looks like the offense date was in January of 2015. Possession of child, sir, how you came into possession of that and how you were caught.
I was just looking around online at different stuff, searching out various kinds of pornography, and I stumbled onto child pornography, and I was using a file sharing program to acquire it, and the Brown County Sheriff's Department apparently downloaded something, hooked up with my computer and downloaded
part of a file that I was downloading.
How long were you doing it, sir?
Just a couple of months, 1 or 2, 3.
Okay. Why do you think that you needed to do this?
Well, for me, it was just pushing the boundaries of watching all this different sorts of porn and stuff, and living out fantasies that I had as a child of having sex with an adult and using this child pornography to kind of relive my childhood sort of thing.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions related to the offense?
Yes, you say you started the pornography 3 months. Is that correct?
Yeah, I downloaded it for somewhere around 3 months or so.
And did you start with adult pornography and then move into children?
Yes. I've been watching adult pornography for years.
Oh, so the child pornography was 3. It wasn't just 3 months of pornography. It was just 3 months of child pornography.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Can I ask why you wrote, it caused my victim to feel stress and anxiety and to relive the trauma all over again? When you have to write about how it affected your victim?
Well, because I found out while I was doing counseling with Jim Drake and reading victim impact statements that the viewing of this pornography, which at the time I wasn't, thinking about consequences, I come to realize that it was causing the victims of these various videos to know that people are out there watching it, and it causes them to feel the trauma all over again.
How long have you been seeing Mr. Drake?
I had seen him from 2016 early on until 2018.
Okay.
Were you not in custody during that time?
No, I was out on bond.
So how long, what were the dates you were incarcerated, sir?
From March 23rd, I believe it was. March 23rd of 2018 until March 10th of 2020.
Okay. Sir, are you currently employed?
I was employed 2 days ago. Now I'm not.
Okay.
What happened?
What?
What happened?
Well, I got a job with American Foods, and I went in, and they do a medical history on you. And I told them that I have carpal tunnel, which I do. And they said, well, you have to get to a doctor, have that examined, and come back with a letter saying you have no restrictions for work. Well, right now, try to get to a doctor, but I had already set up an appointment, so I went and saw the doctor this morning. He gave me the slip saying I have no restrictions for work. I called them up today, and they said, well, we decided to terminate you because it took you too long to get that slip, and it's only been 2 weeks since I had that first day where they found out I have carpal tunnel.
Okay.
Okay. So are you going to be able to afford this location, sir?
Yes. Right after I got the job with American Foods, JBS had called me for a phone interview, which I told them, I already have a job. But I'll be calling them tomorrow to set that phone interview up. So I should not be unemployed very long.
Okay.
Quick question. When did you live in Green Bay?
Around 2006.
Okay.
I've been for just a year. I've been living in Swamico.
Okay. And do you have any family or friends that live in Green Bay?
I have a brother that lives in Swamico.
In Swamico? Okay. And do you have any other support in the area?
I have a father that's in Reedsville, about 40 miles south, and a mother also.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sir, I noticed in your application, you put under treatment programs, you put none, but you're saying you did have some with Jim Drake, is that correct?
Yes, I had counseling for that 1.5 to 2 years.
Do you have any documentation of that?
That's why I put down none. I don't have any documentation of it.
Okay. All right, is there any other questions for him? Does anybody like to speak in his behalf? All right, does anybody want to make a motion in regards to his particular case?
I'll make a motion to approve Mr. Vondracek to 426 South Maple Avenue, address specific.
Is there a second? I'll second that motion. All right, all in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
All right, sir, we have a tie, which means your motion did not pass. So at this particular time, unless any of the...
Dean, Melissa was muted. I don't know how she voted.
Oh,
Opposed. I'm sorry.
Okay.
so based upon that, sir, again, your motion fails. So you've not been granted access to move to 426 South Maple. Unless anybody is willing to change their particular vote at this time, you're gonna be denied. Doesn't mean you can't reapply, but at this time, you would be denied to 426 South Maple. Is anybody wishing to change their vote or give an explanation?
My explanation is I am concerned because there is no proof of treatment with Jim Drake. And also with regard to support in the community, Reedsville is quite a ways away. There's no other support in the area other than Mr. Forgive me. Please forgive me. I forgot your last name.
Vanderschak.
I'm sorry. And other than your brother, and let me ask you this. Do you have constant contact with your brother?
Yes.
And do you have a relationship with him?
Yes.
Okay. And is he someone who
he's actually living in my house right now.
The house that you're intending to move into?
Huh?
The house you're intending to move into?
No, I have owned a house in Swamico for the last 10 to 15 years. And I went before the Swamico board the day I got out. And due to not having the treatment and not having a job and being across the street from a church, they denied me.
Okay. All right.
And I just wanted to say something. Melissa, I'm not sure. Do you know Swamico is not that far? I mean, so it's, I don't know what, 10, 15 minutes away?
Understood.
Oh,
but
okay.
it doesn't sound like there's a lot. I mean, it's Mr. Vondra, I'm going to slaughter your name and I apologize. Vondracek, is he your brother on a call to offer any words in support? Anything about what you're doing to, are you in circles of support? Are you belong to a church? Do you have people that you can go to if you're having issues, things like that?
Well, he would just be getting off of work right now. He works until 5 to 6 o'clock at night. So he couldn't be on these calls, unfortunately for me.
Writing you a letter in support, sending it into the city, as a law department, there are a lot of things. It just doesn't sound like you have a lot of support. And when you're in a situation, when you have these, in situations like this, you need support. You need people who you can rely on when you're facing triggers, whether or not you're seeing a therapist or anything like that. Those are my concerns.
And my concern, I'm sorry, my concern was having no treatment and years of pornography that developed into child pornography. I wanted to see some treatment. Was me. That's my thought.
Okay. I appreciate the comments, sir. So essentially, it sounds like to me that there's a potential for people to change their vote depending on if you're able to get documentation. But at this particular time, you've been not approved. At some point, if you do have that documentation and want to reapply, you definitely can do so.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
Next up is Mr. Curtis Brabs.
Hello?
Mr. Brabs, are you there?
Hello?
Mr. Brabs, are you there?
Yes. Hello?
Hello. Mr. Brabs, last time you were here to see us was on February 19th of 2020. And so at the time we're waiting to see for your assessment to be scheduled, and the board would like to see if you come back with after his assessment, hopefully enrolled into a class and bring in documentation. So I just want to go back to your records here, see if that was attached. Did anybody see that?
No, I did not.
No.
I did not either. So, sir, did you have that documentation for us?
I don't have anything on paper, but I did get the assessment done, and everything was taken care of with my PO, and his name is Tor Atkinson Cornelius. He's the treatment specialist. Today was actually the first day that he had gotten back. I did the assessment a few weeks ago, and then he had some medical things due to COVID or something like that, and he did respond back to my PO. I tried to contact him this past week to see if I can get something, and then I contacted my PO to find out if she had gotten anything back from him, and then she had responded to me and told me that he had responded back to her with that right now that we can start doing the phone conversations and via Skype if possible, with any type of one-on-one treatment programs. And my PO has documentation about it and all of that stuff. So I just wasn't able to get anything in time to send to you guys, but I have completed the assessment.
Okay.
When did you have that done?
Huh?
When did you have the assessment done?
Roughly about 3 weeks ago, maybe even almost a month ago.
Well, it sounds like due to COVID-19, he hasn't been able to get a copy, or at least a copy to us.
Correct.
My suggestion would be then to approve Mr. Brab's address specific for a period of 60 days, and so he can get all the information sent in to us by either himself or his probation agent, parole agent, and then also provide proof that he's now actually attending or participating in treatment.
Is that a formal motion?
Yes.
Is there a second?
I just have one thing before any vote.
Go ahead.
When my PO had sent me a text today about speaking with him via email, she had said to me that because of the situation that's going on with the COVID thing, that like there's nothing scheduled at this time. So I mean, maybe within 60 days I can bring something, and that's fine. But I'm just saying, as of right now, that's what he had said to my PO, that we could do stuff via phone and Skype. But what type of documentation can I get from that? Is it just something saying that that's what we do right now, or is it something else?
Something that describes that you had the
Okay.
assessment, what the results of the assessment were, the conclusions. And
Okay.
if you're meeting via Skype, telephonically, how often, just so that we're all on the same page.
Okay.
All right, so there was a motion. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor of the motion to allow Mr. Brabs to move to 1950 Fiesta Lane for a period of 60 days, at which time he has to provide documentation of his assessment and any courses that he has been engaged in. Say aye.
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 Opposed? Opposed. Did everybody comment? Is it 3-1?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. You've been
Yes.
to move to 1950 Fiesta Lane on a vote of 3-1 for a period of 60 days, at which time you'll have to come back to us and provide the documentation of your assessment, as well as the current course you're in and what you're doing in that course.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Next up is the appeal of Kevin Jerzyk.
Kevin, if you're on, you have to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Mr. Jerzyk,
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, sorry about that.
Okay. Just wanted to come back. So last time we approved you for 120 days. And you're seeing Mr. Drake?
That is correct, yes. And even through the COVID-19 crisis here, we've been able to continue therapy by telephone every week. And you should have a copy of his updated letter.
Board, that is not in the packet, but I did email that to you separately. I received it after the packet was sent to you.
I've got it.
Yep, I got it.
Me too. Yeah.
Okay, does anybody have any questions in regards to his current status or how he's doing with Mr. Drake?
Well, why don't you tell us, how are you doing with Mr. Drake?
I found that working with Jim as I actually look forward to it every week, almost every week. It is a real good check every week as to how I'm doing, if any triggers have arisen, how my coping strategies are working. And also during this time, just a general psychiatric check for me. I've accomplished a lot in these 120 days in addition to the therapy, but my belief is that my therapy has been one of my greater accomplishments.
And how is it your employment?
In end of February this year, I got a full disability, permanent disability approved, and I'm under SSDI now.
Okay.
And I've been able to, with this living arrangement that you approved temporarily, I've been able to save up money, paid off for my family for the loans that they gave me during the first 6-7 months of my release. Paid off my fine to the court in this case, which is was about 6 months early, and been able to start new MS drug therapy and really be consistent with seeing my medical treatment doctors also.
Okay. All right, does anybody want to make a motion into regards to his particular case?
I'll make a motion to approve Mr. This whole thing. Jarezic, thank you, I'm sorry.
That's very good.
To address specific to 617 Bodart Street, number 18 Green Bay, a permanent approval.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, sir, you've been approved permanently to 617 Bodart Street. We will send that notice to that location.
Thank you, and thank all the members of the board. I appreciate your help.
All right, thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Next up is Mr. Leo Sanchez. Mr. Sanchez?
Yes. Yes.
I can hear you. Just give me a second here. Your file's just taking a little longer to load here.
Sure thing.
Board, he is another one that I received documentation after I had completed the packet. You should have a certificate of completion for him.
Yes.
Okay, just give me a quick second. I'm going to take a look at that document. Has everybody else seen it?
Yes.
Does anybody have any questions with regards to this case, Mr. Sanchez?
What I see is that he was provided proof that he's enrolled in attending sex offender treatment, correct? Or did I write that down wrong?
That's what we wanted to see, but that I don't think that's a certificate we got.
Yeah, I see that the certificate of completion is for 80 hours of logistical professionals training.
Yes.
So that doesn't seem to be SOT training. Am I missing it here?
No, if I may interject, I was told to come back with proof of my participation in the CLT training that I mentioned last meeting, and I was also to update you guys on the SOT thing. And my parole officer had just gotten back to me a few days ago, and they are actually starting the SOT back up again. And I have a phone conference evaluation on the 22nd or 23rd of this month. So as soon as I get run through that, I should be right into treatment.
I know I won't be, I'll feel more comfortable once I see actual proof of enrollment and attending SOT, since that was my primary concern.
Right. So I guess my thought here is to give a tentative 30-day extension so long as that documentation is to the law office this week. Does that seem appropriate or not?
I would suggest 60 days at least, because if everything's just starting up again, and yeah.
But okay, so I can see him coming back in 60 days, but he has to provide proof that he's in the program right now. Does you agree with that, Melissa, or not?
Yes, enrolled and attending.
Okay, so I'm going to make a motion to approve him for an additional 60 days, at which time he'd give us an update as to how his treatment program is going. But by the end of the week, he has to provide proof that he is enrolled in a program. Is there a second?
By the end of this week?
By the end of the week, it's Wednesday evening.
Right.
Well, he just said that his parole officer had approved that he's going to be in the program. So we should be able to say, I'm just looking to say that he's been approved to go into the program. That's all I'm looking for.
No, I only have a phone evaluation over the phone because they're still pretty worried about the COVID-19 situation. But my evaluation appointment is next week, so I couldn't possibly get to you the confirmation on that by the end of this week.
Okay.
And I would like to see something from the probation agent or parole agent from the treatment program.
I have the email.
No, I mean,
for that, I could get
showing
that forwarded to you.
you're enrolled and attending.
Oh, okay. So when I'm actually enrolled in the classes.
Yes, for the 60 days, 60-day date.
Okay.
Okay. So Melissa, so really the motion is approval of 60 days, at which time he has to prove that he is enrolled in a treatment program along with the documentation of the evaluation.
Enrolled and attending.
Right. Okay, is there a second to that motion?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? I am opposed. So, sir, you've been approved for another 60 days at this current location, in which time you will have to provide proof that you are enrolled and attending, and also the evaluation that should occur within the next 30 days or so.
Okay. So would you like me to forward you an email of my evaluation status after I do it?
So we want a copy of the evaluation. So once they complete the evaluation of you, they should send that to the law office. And then we're assuming that within 60 days, you're going to be into some class, and we're going to need proof that you've been enrolled in that class. And then if it started, that you're attending.
Right. I see no problem with that one. But for the first 30 days, you just want me to have him forward you the information on my evaluation?
Yeah, as soon as you get the evaluation, get it to us, but you for sure have to get it to us before the 60 days.
Okay, I can do that.
All right. Okay. All right. So on to our next one. Mr. Joshua Lemerond.
Hello?
Mr. Lemerond?
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, sir. Just give me a moment to bring up your file. Okay, last time you were in front of us on March 11th. Proof that you were in a treatment program.
Yeah, I had an assessment on May 1st, and the guy said they're not doing anything right now, and that when he cleared my assessment, he was supposed to tell my PO what the results were, and I haven't found out yet. And I have to call my PO Friday.
If I may, assessment, was this SOT or AODA?
Oh, SOT.
Okay.
So it took you 60 days essentially to get just the evaluation done?
30, because I got out in April.
Okay.
Dean, when he appeared in front of the board in March, he was currently incarcerated.
Right. Right. I see that. Okay. I guess, Heidi, do you think 30 days he should be able to get that evaluation or not?
I think that with everything that's going on, everything is so postponed. I don't know if he'll be able to get in there in 30 days.
I agree. I think it'd be safer just to put it, he's had the evaluation or the assessment. It's a matter of, is he going to be enrolled and attending? So my suggestion would be to put this over for another 60 days, temporary approval.
Okay. Does anybody want to make a motion?
Okay, I make a motion to temporarily approve Mr. Lemerond, address specific, to 201 Huth Street, apartment C, for 60 days. And on that 60-day date, he should bring into the hearing proof of enrollment and attendance of the sex offender treatment.
Is there a second? I'll second that. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
All right, sir, you've been approved for another 60 days.
Wait, Renee, we didn't hear it, Renee.
Oh, I said aye. 3,
Okay.
yep.
All right, sir, you've been approved for another 60 days, at which time you have to bring us documentation of your assessment, as well as if you're enrolled and attending a treatment program, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Next up is Mr. Sanford. Mr. Sanford, are you there?
Hello there.
All right, Mr. Sanford, I can't hear you.
You can't, or you can?
I can. So what we were looking
am I coming in clear?
Yep, I can hear you just fine.
Okay, thank you.
So what we were looking for you, sir, is which clarified a statement in the prior letter.
That was from 2017.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. I apologize.
What I'm showing is that the board previously approved Mr. Sanford to 1730 Badger Street. And now Mr. Sanford wants to move to 1263 Reber Street.
Yep, you're right.
I'm sorry, I don't know which apartment, upper or lower?
It's upper.
Upper, okay. Also, so the, well, I'll let you, go ahead.
No, hey, Renee, have you had a chance to look at this location? I have not.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Have you had a chance to look at this particular location?
No, I have not.
Well, I will tell you that Mr. Sanford and the next appellant are
same.
It's the same address. One's upper, one's lower.
Yeah.
I'm requesting approval to move there.
Right.
So that's an issue. But I guess my first question is why Mr. Sanford wants to move, or where is he residing now and why he wants to move?
Oh, well, I'm right now been staying hotels and a friend's house for a little while, and then I've been staying kind of like camping out just a couple days at a time too at the residence that I've got the keys to right now, where I'm trying to move into, and I've been keeping up with the SORP and letting them know where I'm at and my agent. And I just need to, like I say, move to a different location because of my increase of the rent. And I had some problems prior to, by losing that apartment. I lost my 1730 Badger Street because I had some problems with my PO and polygraph. And I was incarcerated for 30 days. And my last landlord at that 1730 Badger Street, he had me moved out before I could do anything, and my family had to get some of my things out of there. So, like I said, I basically lost that, and he ended up doing, Rick was going to raise my rent to a staggering $700 for a month's rent, and that was just a little bit too much. And I lost it because of the incarceration that I went for 30 days in March, and I had paid for March rent, and he had me out of there before I could, before I could get back there and get my apartment. And I was released from Brown County just around the 29 days. So, and then I was already moved out of that apartment. So that's why I've been running around trying to figure out. And I got this address, and I found that the landlord would like to rent to me. And I have no problem making rent. I've been still a good citizen and in the community. I got a full-time job going on 4 years, and I just had a little quirk. It was a couple of rule violations that I got in trouble with,
What were those rule violations?
Lying to my agent. I was producing my own type of masturbation porn on TV, and that was, like using my cell phone and camera and screen beam, and I got bad habit for masturbation yet, so that's I was doing that for self pleasure, and I had lied to my PO about buying porn, which I never purchased porn. So and then interacting at one time, I didn't report my talking to minors. I was doing looking at a truck at the same time. Two boys that were just getting their driver's licenses, they were looking at it too. So I was talking to them, kind of not realizing that I was breaking that rule. So I didn't bring that up in my polygraph. And like I say, the three things, the pornography thing that I was doing, the lying to the agent, and also talking to minors.
Okay. I did bring this location up on MapQuest.
Yes.
It's about a block away from Eastman Park and about 2 blocks away from Farland Park. So knows where it's at right now. Does anybody have any more questions for him?
When was this not passing the polygraph? Was that just recently? I missed that.
Oh, the polygraph was in February.
Okay.
Middle part of February. And I had I tried to cover up my masturbation problem with that, and I lied. So then I went a couple weeks there, and then I tried to explain more, and then she was fed up, so she incarcerated me for a month, and then like I say, that's when I started having problems with losing my apartment and my family getting involved, moving some stuff out. But now I'm just trying to relocate just because of that problem that I made myself in.
All right.
You're on Lifetime GPS, correct?
Yes.
Now, are you allowed to have a smartphone?
Yes.
And you're allowed to have a computer?
Yes.
You're allowed
with
to
approval. I don't have a computer. All I have is a cell phone.
Okay. I'll be quite honest. The fact that you have, in the span of 1 month, February and March, you have untruthfulness on the polygraph. You lied to your PO, and then you were producing your own porn for your own pleasure.
Yes.
That, based on your criminal history, makes me very concerned. That you are, are you seeing any therapists right now? Are you seeing Jim Drake?
Yes, I'll be seeing him here real quick. I got okayed.
Are you? Are you or have you been seeing him?
Well, I quit seeing him back about a year ago, about 12 or 13 months ago. And then I got into my program. I'm still currently in SO4 with Marshall Patrick's.
So you're currently in SO4. Let me backtrack. You were in SO4 at the same time you lied to your PO?
Yes.
Okay. I'll be honest. I'm very, very, very concerned that you are at high risk of reoffending. And you are definitely, in my opinion, a danger.
Are you still involved with Circles of Support?
Yes, I am.
And what about the Veterans Program?
I'm still seeing a psychiatrist at the Veterans VA clinic, Dr. Metropolis.
Okay, are there any more questions for Mr. Sanford? Anybody want to speak on his behalf? Okay, does anybody want to make a motion in regards to 1263 Reber Street, Upper.
I make a motion to deny Mr. Sanford to 1263 Reber Street, address specific.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, sir, you've been denied to move to 1263 Reber Street, Upper. So that location will not work for us at this moment of time, so you cannot live in the city of Green Bay. All right?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is Mr. West?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Mr. West, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I'm having a hard time hearing you. Can you speak up a little bit more?
Yes, I can hear you.
We can't hear you very well.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Let me take you off my Bluetooth speaker and do the regular phone, okay?
Okay. Can you hear us now?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So, sir, are you currently at 580 Spinnaker Lane, and you want to move to 1263 Reber? Is that correct?
Yes. Correct.
Okay. In the lower or upper?
Lower.
Okay. All right, sir, why do you need to move?
Why? So that way I can be in compliance with the city. I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do as a healthy adult, given the circumstances that's just happening today with me just finding out that my father passed away. The man that raised me as my stepdad, he passed away, so I'm dealing with that at the moment. Not only that, to keep my gainful employment at JBS, I've been there for over 10 years, moved up in the company, became a manager. I mean, not a manager, but I'm in management. I'm a trainer there, and continue paying back to society the debt that I owe.
No, sir, my question is why do you want to move from 580 Spinnaker to the Reber address? Is there something
Close to the school. Too close to the school, sir.
Okay.
Too close.
Hang on a second here.
It doesn't look like we ever approved you to live at Spinnaker.
No, 'cause I had a hard time being homeless, and then with the job that I have, not making no excuses with my position, it was hard for me to leave work because I'm a vital part there. I'm in management, and by us not having many people and stuff there, it was very hard. I mean, by the time I get off work, I was doing 12 hours. Everything is closed up and things like that. There's no excuse, but it was kind of hard working in a company like that where they expect you to be there, and the bottom line is the profit. Not ragging on my company because it.
So my question is were you at 1369 Y Street?
Yeah, I didn't get approval of that because my friend who I was staying with, his landlord, he didn't get the letter from the landlord, but knowing the landlord now that I know him, he would have given me permission to stay there because he said that I was good, for that resident. I was good for my roommate there, but I wind up leaving there, bouncing around from place to place, living in a hotel, and my roommate lost his house because he had no one stable there to keep him on his toes.
So how long have you been living at Spinnaker?
Spinnaker, just a little over a year.
And is that in the Green Bay city limits? I'm not exactly sure.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is now. That's why I said it was too close. So, like I said before, it was hard for me to get time off, to take care of my personal business because I was, vital. I had people I had to, train and supervise.
So you knew when you moved into Spinnaker that you were violating the law, correct?
Yes, I even told my company that, and they were trying to make accommodations for me, but I was stuck between a hard place and a rock. So I'm doing this to make.
I guess I have a hard time believing that over 1 year's time frame you couldn't find one day to get to us.
It's hard, sir. It is hard. It is hard. I'm not making
today.
But today I happen to, just push the issue. I pushed the issue. I finally, got fed up with him, told him, said, look, I'm doing all this for you guys. I need to take care of this. If I can't take care of my business, I can't take care of business here. So
Okay, so was your landlord cited for having you at 580 Spinnaker? And that's the reason why you're here with us right now?
I think she was cited. I'm not sure, but I did speak with an officer and then spoke with my landlord, and we made preparations to get me to over on Reaper Street.
So are you currently in Reaper Street now?
Yes, I am, sir.
How long have you been living in there?
Just a little over a month when I got the paperwork in and things like that, because I tried to come down there and turn it in until I found out I had to put it in a drop box. When the legal assistant called me and told me that I still needed to get the letter from the landlord in my packet. So that was taken care of.
Well, I don't know if the rest of the board members, but I'm pretty annoyed, sir. You obviously knew the law. You knew the law because you came in front of the board before. You moved into.
You've been cited for not being in the right spot. Yeah.
Right.
Sorry.
Yep. 580. You knew, that you weren't supposed to be living there. And I'm sorry. I don't buy. And again, this is my opinion. I don't buy that you couldn't find one time to let us know that you're living at Spinnaker.
It was, sir. I'm telling you the truth. It is hard, but I had to make a stand for myself. I had to stop letting my company treat me just as somebody that's always there.
Yeah, but sir, you got basically taken out of Spinnaker. You still wouldn't have come to us if you were still living at Spinnaker.
Yes, I did. I wanted to make sure I got the paperwork.
No. You're only coming to us now because probably the landlord there says you have to have approval. And the fact that, we didn't have a meeting last week, I can grant that, but, I think the only reason why you're here is because the landlord is forcing you to be here or else you're going to be evicted. And I think if you would have been at Spinnaker and nothing would change, you never would have came in front of us. That's what I think. I'm annoyed right now.
And I understand that, sir, and I'm not trying to annoy you or be argumentative with you. I'm just telling you my position and how I'm doing right now in society since all of that has came about back in 2003 when I was convicted for this crime, and how much I have learned from it and changed from it. I am a better person now. I'm a better individual, and I love being the person who I am now, a grandfather, a member of my company, and people, they're starting to respect me a lot more. And, my support group, I can't say enough for them because they do check on me to make sure that I am okay, make sure that I'm all right. And they're supportive of me. I have a lot of people supporting me, a lot of people. And
I'm sorry to interrupt. Can I just ask why you did not come onto our agenda for the April meeting before you moved into Reber? Knowing you were leaving Spinnaker, knowing you were going to move to Reber, and you never came before us even then.
I was told, which was misinformation, that with everything going on, that city was shut down. I even went to the door and I seen the sign on the door saying that it was not open. But I went ahead and kept pressing on and made sure that I got the letter. I was able to get inside and get the letter from the clerk and filled it out from there and got it done. Just got it done. It's time for this to get done. I'm doing good. I don't want to do anything to impact my good behavior in society and what I'm doing and things like that. I love, the life that I'm living now. Not bothering anyone or causing any type of problems. I go to work 12 hours a day and come straight home if I'm not visiting with my grandchildren or my family or other support members. That's what I do. That is my life now. I don't even hang out with old associates. I don't even go to really any bars anymore. I'm comfortable with just being, just being a grandfather, doing what I'm supposed to do as a rational man. That's what I'm doing, and continue being the best person that I can be each and every day that I wake up.
All right. Is there any other questions anybody has of him?
Oh, pardon me, one moment. Also, I had a couple of documents here. I just want to show you guys also to testify as to how I'm doing. Can you guys see me?
Well, I saw that's the letters that you attached.
No, I have a few other things also that I could not put into the mailbox or anything, with my letter. I have this right here, which is from treatment programs. And this is also for my job certificate of appreciation, with me making sure that out of all the trainers, I had no turnovers. Also, employee of the month.
Can you bring that one closer to the camera, please?
Oh, yes, sir.
A little closer.
Can you see it?
Yep, I can see it.
And also my prized possession is my AODA certificate. And it's like I tell people, all the time when they say, for you to go through what you go through, what motivates you? I said, what motivates me is that I knew that what I did was wrong. I've even told that to my victim's family when I trained them, which I've trained my victim's family. I've even trained my victim there, and HR knew about it, and they brought it in and they said it was no problem. I mean, she said I was wonderful training her, being patient, keeping it strictly professional and things like that. And I love the report that I'm getting on our son that he's coming up, 3rd-degree black belt, doing good in school on the honor roll. I can't take credit for this. I give God all the credit for this. I give God the credit that I'm able to think clearly and rationally and think before I make a decision. And I just can't get over this. I'm just happy at the way things are going. I'm happy with the way things turned out. I had to go through some things, had to learn some things, had to grow up. And right now, I'm loving.
I just want to remind the board that there's another meeting that was scheduled for 6 o'clock. So.
Okay.
Sir, I'm going to have to cut you off.
Let me wrap this up, but in short, what I'm saying. Okay.
Sir, I can't hear you. I mean, sir, I'm just going to have to cut this off right now. I appreciate it. One of the things, just real quickly.
I just want
Rachel.
Go ahead.
Sir, I just need you to be quiet, please. Okay? Rachel, just from a standpoint of this particular landlord, obviously he's allowed people to go into his building, prior to getting approval. I guess that right now I'm struggling with if I hold Mr. West accountable to this or hold the landlord accountable to this. Obviously, I know we can cite the landlord.
I'll follow
because he's there right now. You'll follow up.
Yeah, I'll follow up with the community police officers. Yeah, I'll follow up with the community police officers. There was a citation issued for the Spinnaker address on March 8th. So I'll follow up on the Reber Street address.
Okay. All right. Does anybody want to make a motion in regards to Mr. West?
I just want to make a comment first. I understand that he has been in violation, but I think we also have to look at the fact that the man's held a job for 10 years. He has committed no other crimes since he has been out. At first, I was really hesitant about it because obviously he had issues following rules with the sex offender residency. But I have to look at the fact that, he has not had any criminal history for quite some time now. And based on that, I am going to make a motion to approve him to live at 1263 Reber Lower, address specific.
Seconded.
Is there a second?
That's my motion.
All in favor of the motion? All those in favor of the motion say aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Yep. All in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, Mr. West,
Aye.
you have been approved to address specific to the 1263 Reber Street lower. You will receive a notification of that.
Thank you. Thank you so
All
much.
right, sir?
Thank you so much. And if I may also add, sir,
All right.
if I may add also,
Dean,
sir,
how
as
did
I
you-
said, you know,
Dean,
ever
how-
since
Dean, how
I've
did you
come to
vote
a
on that one?
realization of all of this, I would like,
I voted aye.
Okay.
All right. The next meeting date is June the 10th at 4 p.m. Can I, if there's not anything else anybody has, then I'd like to make a motion for adjournment. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so we are adjourned. I would like to say, just real quickly, thank you to Rachel and the rest of the city for putting